Okay, then. So, last time we explored the Purpleberry Orchard, it was full of people with some sort of brain parasite. I'm not sure what the heck is going on over there. Though it did occur to me, the intro to this DLC did mention something about brain eaters. That that might have been what they meant.
Rifling through Ruth's belongings seems oblivious to our presence, Captain. Perhaps you should have a word with him.
Wait, what? What the heck? Excuse me?
Oh, sweet gibbering law! Where'd you come from? Sorry, let me just get back in character. Whoa, 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 it's not what it looks like.
What the heck did I get involved in? Who are you and what do you want?
I'm the mascot for the Rizzo's Rangers, 3-time non-consecutive All-Halcyon champions. And what I want is to wish you a good day and be on my way. I seem to have wandered into the wrong premises. I have mistaken this penthouse for the Rizzo's Rangers locker room on account of my headgear cutting off my peripheral vision.
Look at my face. Do I look like I'm in the mood for your nonsense?
Not even a little. I am acting on behalf of Mr. Black Hole Birdie, the Holmeister, the Hack Attack. I don't have a lot of time, but Mr. Birdie sent me to retrieve a message. Something he recorded for Ms. Bellamy while he was off his kilter.
We heard about Birdie. Had a breakup. We also heard a recording from him and he was not happy. It seemed to be about the death, and it could be interpreted either he just learned and was upset, or he just committed it. What's the hurry? We got time. Tell me everything.
It's extremely difficult for me to tell you no. In fact, I'm experiencing enormous mental anguish right now. Will you meet me later, over at the pilot house? I swear, from the bottom of my employment contract, I will tell you everything I know about Ms. Bellamy's demise.
You know, let's see if I can just get him out of it now. Tell me what you know, or they'll have to wrench your remains out of that mascot outfit.
What? But I can't? Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I can't. Not here. I'm sorry. The Pilot House complex. Meet me there, and I'll tell you everything, I swear.
Okay. Let me just check journal. Did I have anywhere else to go? We should do this first, because she's still in the building.
What floor would you like to visit?
We can't go to VIP yet, so we go to the lobby.
To the lobby we go.
Those two. That slogan is still terrible. Just, yeah. Right. Not out there. She's up above. First, there's the stairs. Hi.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report.
Let's hear it.
Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure.
Sure it wasn't just the hotel food?
The thought occurred to me. I tested this hypothesis by vacating the contents of my stomach and testing for the presence of the same toxin. Slightly elevated levels of mercury and an alarming amount of blue food coloring. But other than that, no. I'm certain it wasn't, as you put it, just the hotel food.
Did she just say she induced vomiting? Basically. What the hell? When we were talking, you called her Ruth Bellamy, not Halcyon Helen.
Oh, how curious. I do believe you're right. I wonder if this has something to do with the autopsy process. She was Halcyon Helen up until the moment I brought her to the operating table. But as soon as I cut her open, I stopped thinking of her as Halcyon Helen. It's almost as if she stopped being an icon and became a human being.
I guess that makes sense.
I had a feeling you'd understand.
We'll talk later. She is. Okay. Let's see. Spencer in here? We could talk to him. Plus, we'll have to do that sooner or later. He's one of the people who's something of a suspect.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector?
I need access to the VIP guest floor.
I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it.
And this is why I like having Intimidate. Trying to make my life difficult is a dangerous, dangerous idea.
I wasn't trying to. Now that I think about it, I can get you up to the guest floor. Not trying to cause any trouble, just doing my job. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Goodbye. That wants me to leave. Or no, wait, that's the elevator.
What floor would you like to visit?
Oh, this should be interesting. I'd like to visit the VIP guest floor.
If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
Got a couple tossball players, a lot of guards. Hi, Spencer.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology.
If you can hear meowing, excuse that. Braveheart was hiding in my room again. Hi there. Let's see. I'm getting embarrassed by proxy. You want to talk like a human being?
I'd give you a stern admonition, but your bluntness suggests that you aren't with the hotel staff. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here?
I'm here to investigate the murder of Halcyon Helen. I'd like to ask a few questions.
You're here to investigate me? Oh, I assure you, I'm nothing special. Just an old crook with more money than time. That was a quote from The Retiree's Revenge, in which I played an ex-thief turned decrepit old man. But, of course, I'm certain you already recognized it. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or so I've heard.
I'm not here for an autograph. I'm here to ask you some questions.
Do you mean to say you're not a fan? Well, then how did you get in here? The only staffer cleared for guest room entry is the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Oh! Hello.
Took you long enough. Do you derive some kind of pleasure from wasting people's time?
Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in The Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer.
Excuse me just a moment. I'm going to see if Brave wants to leave my room. He's meowing at me a bunch. Come on, little fella. Oof. Okay, there we go. I heard you were poisoned.
Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation.
According to the coroner, Helen was also poisoned.
How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you.
Helen wasn't killed by the poison.
Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor.
I see. Think of anyone other than the chef who would want to harm you?
None that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect that they deserve.
Ain't you a charmer? Why didn't you go to a clinic for your stomach pains?
Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star, spotted in gastronomic distress. Oh, unseemly hardly describes the half of it.
You know, he strikes me as the kind of person who lives for that kind of attention. That's all I wanted to know.
Very well, then.
I'd like to ask you about the murder.
Certainly. But one quick question before we begin, if I may. How was it that Bellamy met her end?
Why are you so curious?
Why, I'm merely worried for my own sake. Perhaps whoever came after her could come after me next. But if you don't want to tell me, I understand. Whatever happened, I hope poor Bellamy didn't suffer.
Excuse me. Alright, speaking theoretically, how would you have killed the victim?
Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for?
An idiot.
I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation to think of.
What were you up to at the time of the murder?
I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character.
You were meditating? Really?
All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing. Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much.
Jeez. Anyone who can corroborate that?
Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating.
That's fair. How long have you worked with the Prophet?
Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The Unemployed Cometh was shot on site. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should.
We actually do need to see the Prophet. I could have gone whenever. I'm waiting to see if any other quests are going to send me out that way first. We'll probably be there soon enough. Possibly even tonight if we're lucky. Okay, back to my other questions.
I'll answer whatever you wish.
Did you know Helen well?
Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids.
Did you consider yourself a friend of hers?
I'll ask you this. If you'd been the star of cinema for years, then suddenly found yourself scrounging for bit parts while a younger person stole the limelight, how would you feel? In short, the two of us weren't close. But that's not to say my dislike of her was so extreme that I tried to do anything drastic. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me.
That's actually why he's a suspect. He's been raising a fuss about playing second fiddle for some time now. Enough about that. Back to my other questions.
I suppose that is enough on that grim subject.
We checked this, I think. Who are you exactly?
I'm sure you're joking. Perhaps I'm not in my prime, but you've no doubt seen the name Spencer Woolrich on many a serial advertisement throughout your travels.
Surprisingly, no. We've been frozen for 70 years. And I don't know how much time would have been considered to have passed since then, but we haven't been thawed out for very long. I think I've seen your name around.
You think? I mean, yes, of course. You have, obviously.
Okay. Who else is up here? Anyone else up here? I'm not sure I want to know what this is about. Is this the robots room?
Initiating banter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Well, if it isn't sanitation and maintenance unit, Are you operating at peak efficiency?
Initiating digital handshake. Greetings, Burbage-3001. By design, this SAM unit must simulate excitement when interfacing with customers, and/or potential customers, and/or associates of customers, and/or potential customers.
Now generating condescending dismissal. Well done, maintenance unit. This unit will have its people contact your people. Greetings, theater aficionado and/or dumbstruck fan. You are standing in the vicinity of Burbage 3001, the latest and therefore greatest automechanical actor ever designed.
I see you've had some work done. Who upgraded you?
Burbage 3001's programming is frequently upgraded to adhere to board-certified standards. The most recent upgrade was performed by Spencer Woolrich. Banter protocol exhausted, reverting to default behavior, grieving and despair. Oh, Halcyon Helen, may your atoms be commended to the Aether.
You knew her?
Burbage 3001 was designed to disrupt Halcyon Helen's monopoly over the Aetherwave serial market. This unit's programming is based on Helen's most famous roles. Burbage 3001. Anything Halcyon Helen can do, this unit can do slightly worse.
A surprisingly common business strategy. It almost sounds like you had a motive for murdering Helen.
Now running shock and dismay protocol. What's this? Helen's death was a murder? How horrifying. Bring that killer to justice, designated authority figure. This unit has not yet completed its grief cycles. Randomizing despair tables. Oh, Helen, is there no justice in the world?
I'm leaving. Let's see, anyone else? No, we've exhausted this wing. How about going the other way? Mind, if we find Birdie, I don't think we'll talk to him just yet.
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you?
What brings the Rangers to Eridanos?
Since it's the off-season, we're helping support the launch of Rizzo Spectrum Brown. Meet the fans, sign tossball cards, that sort of thing. Just between you and me, Rizzo's ought to cancel the whole event out of respect for Miss Helen.
Again, what called us here is her death. She was supposed to be here for the unveiling of Spectrum Brown, and her death has put one hell of a monkey wrench in that. How long have you been with the Rangers?
About half my life. You know I was named third most profitable investment on 2 non-consecutive seasons? Ain't a lot of players who can make that claim. Except for the guys who came in first and second, I guess. I spent the last season injured and almost got sold to the Hephaestus Hammers. But now I'm all convalesced. Ready to lay into some Cleo darlings, you know? Really break some legs.
That would be very literal. What little we know of tossball is that it's very much a blood sport. I had some question about Halcyon Helen's murder.
Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about. It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know?
Can you think of anyone who would want to kill Helen?
Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty.
Funny you should mention that, because last time we found out she was very interested in a tour of parts of the Purpleberry Orchard. Like she was very much up to something when she was here. Where were you at the time of the murder?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keen's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keen saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off.
Was Birdie in jail with the rest of you?
No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know.
So tell me about Birdie and Helen.
Oh, Brady was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Birdie was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Birdie steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them.
Now that we think about it, last time we did find there was a picnic in the orchard. It might have been these two, Helen and Birdie. Think Birdie could have killed Helen?
What? Law, no. Birdie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen.
Let's talk about something else.
What can I do for you?
And that's all for now. This might be his room.
This room is covered in animal dander, human vomit, and feces of both varieties.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
What the heck am I looking at? And its ear wiggled. Is it still alive?
Multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room. Woolly cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodation. Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum.
I got science for this. There's some worrying discoloration in its eyes.
An accurate observation, Inspector. This woolly cow is suffering from symptoms consistent with a hangover. A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club.
Black hole Birdie here?
Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1.
That's all. Oh, yeah. The DLC gave us this thing we can use and analyze. It's also a gun, and I have accidentally fired it about 3 or 4 times so far. Fortunately, I have yet to accidentally shoot anyone with it. That almost happened when they first gave it to me.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Yeah, there. That's another accidental shot.
The charred fragments of a letter lies at the bottom of this wastebasket.
Can you, Amplifier, can you identify what was on the letter?
Unfortunately, most of the writing is beyond recovery. The words station, meeting point, and emergency are all that can be discerned.
Well, glad we narrowed that down.
I really shouldn't do this because it'll probably just completely disintegrate, but cold. Any idea when this happened?
Someone burned this letter shortly after Halcyon Helen's death.
I need a more solid lead. Better keep looking around.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Somewhere over here.
Like a raft among the rocks.
Oh, here we go.
A single footprint, size 10, tossball cleat sized.
Analyze the footprint for any residue.
The soil in this residue contains a very high concentration of oxygen.
High concentration of oxygen usually points to a terraformer.
Well done, Inspector. The weather monitoring station at the pilot house substitutes for a terraformer. The soil in his footprint likely came from there.
Clues I found point me to the Phaeton pilot house's weather monitoring station. Yeah, that's just vending machines. That's locked. I think we've done all we can here for now, so...
What floor would you like to visit?
At this point, we want to exit the building completely. Come on. Huh. That's weird. It wants me to go back in.
Welcome to the...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
For God's sakes, don't accidentally shoot him.
Analysis of this stovetop reveals an alarming degree of grease buildup, approximating proximity to volatile gases and chemicals. Chances of an explosive combustion upon next use currently at 92.9%.
This is like a workplace hazard. How? Oh, God, no. I could turn the stove on, but no. Seems like a workplace hazard. How hasn't Slug caught this?
Searching Slug work logs. No work log found. Creating conjecture. Slug has likely not fixed this issue due to a lack of responsibility on the part of their employees.
It is normal.
Most corporations have regular cleaning procedures to prevent damage to company property. Slug, already unlike most corporations in a variety of ways, does not. That or the employees tasked with inspecting are shirking their duties. For shame.
We're not turning this. Oh, hell, we'll try it. I have a recent save.
Performing scan. Gaslight appears to have gone out some time ago. Chance of explosive combustion without gaslight, 0.01%.
That's about what I expected to happen. We're done. Hiya, buddy.
Yes? Are you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait. Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later. Actually, what am I saying? I can't do that. I'm booked for the next month. You'll have to make a reservation.
I'm here to investigate Halcyon Helen's murder. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
You're the inspector?
Yep.
Here? Why? I mean, you may ask me whatever you want. I have nothing to hide.
Except what you put in the food, I bet. Did you prepare all of Helen's meals?
Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest.
Well, that was a mistake. Helen's last meal was poisoned.
Oh my law, this is the end, isn't it? My mother always warned me that the culinary world was too dangerous, but I didn't heed her warnings. Okay, I wasn't the one who did it, but I might have been mistaken when I said I was constantly watching Helen's food. Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients.
Woolrich is already dead end on that because he got poisoned too. What is Spencer Woolrich doing here, though?
Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. He seems to enjoy complaining in person. While I could appreciate someone with a discerning palate for once, I believe that Mr. Woolridge simply enjoys the attention he gets from us. Though don't tell him I said as much. If you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolridge can most likely be found in his suite on the VIP guest floor. He's usually there if he's not poking around here.
Why were you being so evasive about leaving Helen's food unattended?
Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it?
Unless you want me to give you something new to worry about, you should come clean.
Coming clean it is. I may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal.
Huh. Any idea where I might be able to find Bellhop Owens?
Yes, but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather particular. Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands. It's always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait.
I'm not mistaken, the profits at the reserve, so we've got a good reason to go out there. Alibi's a little thin here. Why should I believe anything that you're saying?
I understand your reluctance, but... Oh, I just remembered. The kitchen security camera. It'll prove I'm telling the truth about everything. Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport. If you visit her, you can figure out what truly happened with Helen's meal.
That's all I wanted to ask about. Guess we'll see if you're telling the truth.
Thank you for your understanding, Inspector. I'm sure you'll find the true culprit before long.
Well, that's potentially really helpful. Security footage. Not this way. Okay, now we're leaving. I don't know why it's doing that, why the map seems to be having loading problems. I did not have that with the rest of the game at all. You know, is that the spaceport behind us? We might as well go there first. What the hell? Oh, god damn it, it's one of these guys. So, remember the thing I said about... Yeah, that's one of them. I mentioned parasites, and it looks like they've made it out here.
Putting trash in its rightful place for more than 70 years.
Where am I? Okay, we want to go out towards that way. Actually, wait, is there a fast travel? No, there isn't. There'll probably be a new one when I get close enough.
That's the last of them.
No thanks, we're not taking flaws for this run. This is a little worrying though. This spot used to be safe and now we seem to have the parasites spreading. Where'd you go? There we go. He might have something to say on this.
I'm pretty happy working for Slug. Mr. Kincannon treats us with respect.
Inspector, good to see you. Let me just grant you access and... Welcome to the Piraeus Spaceport.
You know what? Did we get a... No, we didn't. Okay. We might as well go up this way then. I was thinking if there was a fast travel, I'd turn around because I got a couple things to do elsewhere, and maybe one of those would send me back here too. Just a little more efficient that way, but it's fine. Yeah, you know what? Okay. Now that we have a fast travel, let's hold off on this for a bit. And let's start going for the preserve instead. Not that way. Around this way. Right. Besides, the prophet seems to be getting mentioned more. It's about time we said hi. That appears to be a dead body. Incoming. Hello? Wait.
Never felt so damn good in my life. I just want to be your friend. Miles.
What the heck is that noise? Well... Oh yeah, that's elsewhere. I gotta remember to look into that next time I go back. Got my ammo on right now. Let's switch back to this for a bit because it's the one with the most ammo. Okay. I guess things went a little Jurassic Park over here? Maybe? Oh, here we go.
stuck in tread. Warning! Twig stuck in tread. Warning! Mangled sprat entrails stuck in tread.
Aether Waves won't be the same without Helen. We're all gonna be stuck with Spencer Woolrich.
I was expecting something far worse up here, so...
Excuse me, Gunther. I need to ask you something.
Who in the hell is Gunter? I told you to call me Hunter. Come on.
Oh, right. Hunter, have you seen a little mechanical wandering through here? Might have been wearing my hat.
I can't say I have. I can sell you a new hat if you want. Or some fine, legally obtained hunting supplies. You could go get that mechanical thief yourself.
She's not a thief. She's lost. I just want her back. Oh, hey there, stranger. Don't mean to interrupt your business, but have you seen a stray mechanical wandering about?
I don't think that wait, no. I overheard your conversation earlier. You want to explain exactly what's happening?
Seems I'm running my mouth too much. My mechanical Betty up and wandered away a couple days back. I've been trying to track her, but the beasts make it hard. Personally, I prefer my organs inside my body. The shopkeep says I should buy one of his rifles and go looking myself, but like my machine, I'm not combat inclined.
SAM units excel at finding dirt in hidden places.
I know it's a pain, but I think I need some outside help. Job or no job, I'm not leaving Betty out in the wastes.
What kind of mechanical is your lost charge?
Betty's just your standard tripod mechanical, though she probably is still wearing my hat. Without it, she seems kind of naked. Her main purpose is cacao milking, but the only cacaos in the reserve are close. Without a directive, she shouldn't have had reason to wander away from the milking area.
Like those boat buckets need a reason to do anything. It's probably searching the world for more things to milk.
Wouldn't make any sense. Ain't no cacaos out there. Betty's smarter than that.
I'll keep an eye out.
Hey, thanks so much. It would have been mighty lonely without her. Being unemployed, I mean. Be lonely being unemployed. If you find Betty, try sneaking up and hacking her. If you can't do that, finding a way to stop her current routines should send her back home.
Oh, I could just take this. Okay.
Welcome to Hunter Legal's Legal Hunter Supplies. I am Hunter Legal. How might I help you today?
Oh, so it's your name. It's kind of weird. I'm investigating the murder of Halcyon Helen. Have you seen or heard anything unusual lately?
Unusual? This whole land complex is a failed wildlife exhibition turned hunting reserve. You can't go 10 feet without stepping in unusual. But I reckon you're asking about people unusual. I'd go have a chat with the prophet of profitability. Maybe she can intuit you in the right direction or something. But she is mighty far in the depths of the reserve. Perhaps you should purchase one of my fine armaments for the journey.
Interesting name your shop has.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. It is a perfectly normal name for a shop dispensing hunter supplies.
Don't you mean hunting supplies, like the sign above your shop says?
No, these are supplies for hunters. Hunter supplies. It works either way. It works either way. Boy, damn it. I wish I thought to get that sign switched out when I changed my name.
It's really the best place for a shop.
Where better to sell hunter supplies than in the depths of the wilds? Surrounded by creatures that are just waiting to devour you. I've got an excuse, but the Prophet and her retreat don't. And they're even farther out. Prophet said I should gift her some rifles to improve my aura or something. I told her what she could do with her aura. Haven't spoken to her since. But you look like you're smart enough to not make the decision that she'll invariably regret.
Excuse me. We don't need anything. We're pretty much armed to tea party. Speaking of, should check my armor. So it's just out of... Oh, it's very close. Okay. Good thing I switched around to get a look at it. Oh, something nasty happened here. Hey.
No cacaos detected nearby. Returning to slug maintenance worker.
That was weird. Is it just gonna go back now? Jeez, I just turned my back for a few seconds. It's already this far along. Thinking motor.
Hey, I almost can't believe it. Betty found her way back. Here I was thinking I'd never see her again.
One malfunctioning mechanical, as promised. She was trying to milk cannons.
Oh, Betty, you big goof. What were you thinking in that little metal noggin of yours? You nearly worried me to death. And ain't you just the most reliable freelancer in the colony? Let me just take a look at Betty here and we'll talk about payment. Yep, that's right. Her parameters for movement and target acquisition are a mess. I'll bring her back to the garage and get her sorted out. Since Betty's back safe and sound, I'll be sure to let my coworkers know that you're a good one. Here's some money for your effort. Least I can do to show my thanks.
Try to keep an eye on her this time.
Oh, I won't be turning my back on Betty again, believe me. Thanks again for all your help. You really saved us both from the edge.
I seem to have been given an item. It's a science weapon. Huh. Don't see a point in giving it to anyone just yet. Oh, wait, I'm set to the wrong quest again. I also have to figure... Actually, you know what? Just out of idle curiosity. Way over there. Okay. So that'll be later. Oh, man, let me just check something real quick. Okay. I'm just checking how the stream's doing. Sometime I've noticed every once in a while, not every time, but sometimes when I go to download the VOD, get some clips out of it, it's a little choppy. But this isn't using up much CPU. I'm not seeing much CPU usage at all right now, and there's no dropped frames, so I'm not sure what would... Hello! Anyway, as I was saying, I don't know what would be causing that.
Candy
Oh.
Canyon? Is that because we taste like lollipops to raptidons?
And I'm overloaded. Actually, let's repair all equipped real quick, because I can do field repairs now. And let's see. Actually, weird. Why can't I run them at 293? Okay, there we go. So I woke a bunch up. Hi, fellas. Oh, hey! Cool! That counted for that side quest. I was thinking I'd have to go back. That's for something back on Byzantium. We're not doing it till much later, but... That's cool, I got that one part done.
If this is a cult, who am I kidding? It's a cult. Hold your judgment until you meet them. Some of my best friends were from Graham's camp.
Hello! Welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's Private Prosperity Retreat. Stay positive, and soon all your humors will be balanced. Least, that's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, I'm Aaliyah Mason. I work as the Prophet's right-hand woman. What can I do for you?
For a positivity disciple, you sound a little less than enthused.
Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis. But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. I'll do my best to be more chipper.
What can you tell me about the retreat?
If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out, or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, think positive. Positivity equals productivity equals profitability.
I wonder if this is just cult nonsense in general, or if they've got, like, something specific like Scientology in mind. Do you know the Prophet well?
Of course. I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart, and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges. She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now.
I'm going to admit the stomach purges do not sit well with me. It's because of a surgery I had, so it's like vomiting's not fun for everyone. For me, it's a bit of a subject. I was hired to look into Halcyon Helen's murder. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away.
Jeez! The Prophet had some kind of feud with Halcyon Helen, right?
Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were.
Spencer Woolrich?
Oh, you must have misheard me. I said high profile, not had profile.
Savage.
Mr. Woolrich comes by much too often to be worth mentioning.
Have you noticed any unusual behavior in the retreat lately?
Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day.
So, where were you at the time of the murder?
I was here, at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Eventually.
That's all for now.
Certainly.
At this point, I suspect she's more likely to kill the Prophet than to have ever killed Helen. Goodbye.
Actually, before you go, I want to report something suspicious. I noticed the Prophet dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped.
And the quest log just told us to look for the body, so whoo! You sure it was a body?
I think so. Had the right size and shape.
Couldn't you have brought this information forward a little earlier?
I could have, but I generally don't have the time or energy to leave the reserve to contact anyone. Plus, there's always the possibility that I'm mistaken. The Prophet hasn't been herself lately, but if I misinterpreted the situation and reported her improperly, I'd ruin my chances for opening my own wing of the retreat.
I'll look into it.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Do not accidentally fire this thing. Hello.
Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health.
This sounds more like it's for smoking. Burning these would generate some pretty toxic smoke.
Side effects from extended exposure include dizziness, nausea, and unconsciousness. Additional likelihood of organ shutdown and/or death.
Is this like the Oracle of Delphi? Because I think the Oracle was historically sat over like a volcanic vent. She got high off the fumes and then said stuff, and that was her prophecies. How would these most likely be used?
Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined.
Yeah, so they're doing the Delphi thing. Can you analyze the chemicals those herbs are treated with?
Analyzing complete. Substance appears appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax.
I shouldn't, and yet, let's taste the herbs. Though the dry herbs are difficult to chew, the flavor is less bitter than you would have expected. It's woodsy, like Trifical, with a singed aftertaste. Mind, I did just eat industrial cleaning solvent. It's actually slightly better tasting than your average can of salt tuna, though so are most boots.
Hypothesizing potential side effects from herb consumption. Most likely outcome, decapitation. Slight possibility of calculation error.
Alright, make a note of it and let's move on.
Fruitful and productive welcome, brother. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe the pleasure of the Special Inspector's arrival?
How did you know I was an inspector?
My disciples come to and from the Grand Colonial, bringing supplies and information. Knowing what happens at the hotel affects my livelihood, after all. With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential.
I'd rather keep my thetans, thanks. Humors, I don't think I understand.
As science has taught us, the body is made up of two things, flesh and humors. These humors are semi-fluids that, when improperly balanced, may cause you to function inadequately. By signing up for my seminars, you can balance these humors for only mildly inordinate and repeat payments. Cancellation is subject to repercussions.
Okay, so this is Scientology. Amusingly, humors was like, oh god, wasn't that from like medieval times? I've joked a couple times, I bet you can bring it back today and hawk it off to rich people for a scam. Something about all this seems... Wait, what kind of repercussions?
Nothing you need concern yourself with, brother. It's all in the contracts. But of course, no one need subject themselves to such repercussions if they don't cancel. Regardless, can I interest you in a seminar?
Sorry, Prophet, I don't think I can spare time. I got a murder to look into.
Yes, I understand the pressure of one's employment all too well. We've lately been looking into more ways to bolster the retreat stock of bits. But you needn't worry about how this little conversation is affecting my livelihood, brother. Please, take your time. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. How might I assist?
You got some interesting herbs in here.
I'm pleased that you noticed. Excellent eye, brother. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive potential when burned. I can't say any more. Trade secrets, you know.
They seem toxic. Toxic enough to potentially kill someone.
None of my clients have ever complained, so I'm sure they're perfectly safe. Is there anything else?
Well, funny thing, how would a dead body complain? I'm going to ask you some questions about Halcyon Helen. Please answer truthfully.
Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know?
You and Helen didn't get along, I hear.
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills.
There's the repercussions. Did you contact Helen after you left the Grand Colonial?
I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further?
Where were you at the time of the murder?
Why, I've been at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for quite some time now, as my disciples can attest. In fact, I haven't visited the Colonials since I arrived several weeks ago. Bad energies, you understand.
Let's talk about something else.
I hope you now realize that I had nothing to do with Helen's demise.
We're not going to talk about the human-shaped lump. It would be better we look into that ourselves. So that's all for now. Also, where was that? Just out of idle curiosity. Is this helmet the thing I was looking for? Huh. Nobody seems to have noticed or cared that I took it. That's actually a bit surprising. Okay, this is what I was hoping for. The helmet that goes with this armor. And again, considerable improvement. I look ridiculous now. I am surprised nobody cares that I just dragged this stupid thing off. Oh, hello. Welcome. If you are in search of a seminar, please speak to the Prophet of Profitability directly. The messages on this terminal are private. Should you read them, your humors may be thrown off balance. Is your curiosity worth the loss of profits? Why, yes. Oh, hey, we have something from Bellamy here. That's interesting. Prophet, I've talked with my agents and they've told me that what I said about your seminars, not taking them, actually lost you about 30% of your revenue for the next 3 months, with future losses projected. When I said I wasn't much interested in attending, I didn't really realize that it hit you quite as hard as it did. Guess that's the price of stardom. Everyone listens a little extra to everything you said. I'm hoping if you've got space that I might be able to attend one of your seminars today as a means of apologizing. I know that notice is short, but I'm hoping you can fit me in without too much inconvenience. Lee here also sent something. Hey, Prophet. Whitaker here. Want to ask how that mix of herbs I sent you has worked out. I was skeptical at first about using them for meditation purposes, but hell, what do I know about productivity? That said, be sure to remember what I told you. Don't cut the herbs asymmetrically, hampers the texture. Don't leave them out in the sun, and for the law's sake, make sure you keep the smoke doses small. Last thing you want is to accidentally send somebody into a coma. Or worse, kill them. Be smart. And something from your devoted attendees. Prophet, the other attendees of Tripling Profits through Transcendentalism and I have reconvened, and we're all in agreement. Your seminars are simply top-notch. We've seen a 0.5% increase in each of our businesses in total profit since we attended your seminar together. Of course, with the price of material, shipping, and the other costs involved, it boils down to more of a 0.1% increase, but an increase is an increase. If you ever decide to visit the Grand Colonial, you simply must let us purchase you a round of drinks. Thanks to you, we certainly have the bits for it. You know what? Actually, I don't know. Something in me just says make a save before I go doing this. What if I talk to her again having read those messages?
Welcome back, brother. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. How might I assist?
You said you had no further interactions with Helen before her death, right?
Yes, that's correct. She made it clear that my seminars were of no interest to her.
Really? No, so no messages from her or anything like that.
Your tone of voice seems to suggest that you have information already, which also suggests you've read my terminal. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters.
Again, we're not going to talk about the human-shaped lump. I'd rather look it up myself. And then maybe we'll go back and talk to her again after we've seen it, see if that does anything interesting.
Timeline discrepancy detected near.
A semi-recent set of tracks in the dirt stands out from the dead leaves and those made by passing creatures.
Identifying human footprints leading out into the wilderness. It is unusual for productivity disciples to wander more than a few feet from the camp.
Are they... Nope, got any idea who made them?
Scanning. Checking database of shoe sizes and height-weight ratios. Judging by footprint depressions and shoe size, these prints were either made by the Prophet of Profitability or Adjutant Sophia Akande. Error. Recalibrating. These footprints were made by the Prophet of Profitability.
Let me check something. It just occurred to me. I should give my volume a quick check. Well, let's just turn it up a tiny bit. Do it. Okay, this could stand to go up a little bit more. There we go. That should be good.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Hello.
Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Oh, that's strangely body-shaped.
Judging by the shape of this indentation in the dirt, a person of medium height and build laid here for a number of hours, scanning for other details. Only additional signs of disturbance are a few marks in the dirt.
Well, that's what the disturbance is in the dirt.
Marks in the dirt are somewhat difficult to analyze, but closely match a pair of human handprints. Possible that the individual lying here pushed themselves into a sitting position. Percentage of dead individuals capable of pushing themselves into a sitting position? 1%. More likely that whoever was here rose and left of their own accord.
If I had to take a guess, the fumes from the herbs knocked somebody out, they got dragged out here, and when they woke up, they stood up. Yes, this complicates things. Oh! Oh, hey, that's actually kind of cool. It's only visible if I'm looking through this.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Hmm? Oh, more footprints. Just look them up so it stops.
Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability.
Welcome back, brother. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. How might I assist?
I followed your trail where you dumped something in the wilderness.
Oh, really? What did you find there? What did I dump?
I think it was your morals, but there was nothing there, but by its proportions, I'd say a body.
Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way out of the trap you've so intricately weaved. I admit it. I killed Helen. By mistake. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar, desired to truly galvanize her, though not to stop her heart. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems, witnessed me as I dragged Helen's body out into the wilderness.
Okay, so it sounds like it's what I said. Knocked out by the herbs, dragged away, woke up and left eventually. The wilderness? You didn't dump the body at the Grand Colonial?
Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much less picky. Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing I was dragging a corpse.
Actually, I don't think you killed anybody. Certainly not Helen.
What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. It's your job to arrest me, isn't it?
Halcyon Helen's body was found at the Grand Colonial. She was killed there.
I don't believe you. I think this is all a trick. You're trying to catch me in a lie. Get me to reveal my productivity secrets.
Look, if Helen's body wasn't where you left it, she must have awakened and walked away.
No. Someone must have moved it after I killed her. One of my business rivals, waiting for me to fall into a false sense of security so they can strike.
The only thing you've done is be completely negligent.
No. You can't trick me. I finally discovered what's happening. You've been paid off. Someone else learned that I killed Helen and is going to use that information to blackmail me. You think I'm going to let this injustice happen? Ha! Tell the constable that I killed Helen. It's 1,000 times less miserable than whatever my enemies have planned.
You're up the wall. I'm not getting a constable to falsely imprison you.
You monster! What am I supposed to do now? They'll be here soon. And once they arrive, I'll be powerless. Powerless! I just want to go to prison! Is that so wrong?
Okay, that was weird.
Gotta keep going. I can feel my inner negativity seeping out.
Actually, now I think about it, can't I just fast travel back there? Save myself some time. Oh, not from this location, which means there's probably something nasty waiting for me just outside. Nothing? Huh.
black hole.
What floor would you like to visit?
Oh, right.
Next stop,
I could have
the
fast traveled.
finest seat in the house.
I forgot I have to talk to him via terminal in the penthouse. I should have just fast traveled there directly.
Inspector?
I finished my investigation into Jasmine via the Prophet of Profitability.
Ms. Leyva earned that title,
Leyva.
but not for the reasons you'd expect. The profit business has been profitable for the hotel. Not so much for Ms. Leyva's followers. So, tell me, what did you find?
I think she's a fraud and a cheat.
Ms. Leyva's techniques have no basis in modern science, but she makes bits hand over fist. If that makes her a fraud, then she's only as fraudulent as our corporate leaders.
So very.
Does the Prophet strike you as a reasonable candidate for Helen's murderer?
I'm still considering my options, but no, I doubt she did it.
I'll bear that in mind. Thank you for the update, Inspector. I'll include everything you've told me in my official report. Oh, and let me give you some advice. Look into Cedric Kincannon. He's hiding something. I'm sure of it.
Hey, why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in my room?
Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in your room? I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this the lead-up to a joke?
There was a Rizzo's mascot poking around my room. I'd like to know why.
I don't know why there was a mascot in your room. The Grand Colonial doesn't offer that kind of room service. I think.
Huh? It was a misunderstanding. I just want to know if you had anything to do with it.
I most certainly did not. My policy toward Eridanos is one of, shall we say, benign negligence. I keep my distance and don't involve myself unless necessary. In any case, let me apologize for this unfortunate business. I'm sure this mascot meant no harm.
I'll take your word for it.
Was there anything else?
I'll be back. Don't I have a side quest? You know what? Can I get to A2 now that I'm back here? Somewhere in the lower levels.
What floor would you like to visit?
So I guess we start at the
To
lobby.
the lobby we go.
Yeah, it's pointing down.
If you
Gotta go from over. Okay.
Something mighty strange.
I hear a lot of sprats.
Get anything good for lunch?
Oh, weird. Very weird. Am I missing a turn somewhere? Oh, here we go. I think I'm hearing the game's main theme is lounge music, and that's kind of funny. Looks like I should... Okay, this is not what I meant to do.
Detected.
Huh, rabbit sprats. Usually they're harmless.
Sanitation and maintenance job fulfilled.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
I just realized that was probably the one time I properly fired the gun. Okay, the discrepancy's inside the room, but I don't... Where would I get a card?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Maybe it's in here. This pile of cartridges contains the ID for our Halcyon Helen's sidekicks who were killed, mortally wounded, mulched, melted, torn to ribbons, decapitated, or turned into mechanicals in the line of duty or otherwise identified post-mortem. Typhon Tim, Olympus Opal, Terra 2, Terry, Sparks the Wonder Kenned, Burbage's 1900 through 1999, Volt Vander Huge. Wait, isn't that the name? Isn't that one of the names from the MST3K version of Space Mutiny? Eridanos Eve, Inconsequential Groundbreaker Maintenance Worker, number 13B9. Caleb, Bison, the broker with 4 broken limbs. Halifax. The entire 26th season of the Isle Backers, IDs blackened beyond individual recognition. Stakeout Steve, Dirk Tenderly. That's a lot of dead people. Actually, gun out, because we know the sprats down here are nasty. This wall panel has been removed. Judging by the scorch marks on the sides and the blowtorch abandoned on the floor, this removal does not conform to company guidelines. Oh, hey. That's interesting. That was a... Oh, you kind of died standing up, dude. Oh. Because you're not actually dead. Okay. Interesting that there was a parasite in here, though. Ah, B1 key card. Okay. Oh, this sounds like a unique weapon. We'll take it. Oh, that just opens this. It looks like somebody made a Helen shrine back here. Okay, that sprat's harmless. Weird we found one of those parasites in the hotel, though. No way I'm going to get 100 hacking skill. That is a freaking huge sprat. Eating a body. I think about it, he might have the card we need. We're going to have to go kill him. Looks like he's just the next hallway down. No, wait, this way. This looks good. Hi, big fella. Spread of unusual size. Awesome. Well, that took a beating. To whom it may or may not concern. I don't understand why I deserve to be terminated. I was your engineer. I fix things. Your time clock was malfunctioning. You were logging 1 hour for every 10 I put in. How's that fair? And yeah, I admit it, I wanted that free tour of the distillery. I put in my 10,000 hours, and I deserve to wet my throat with a little Spectrum Violet. I didn't know accepting that free tour meant I joined the Rizzo's family. You know I can't read fine print ever since that welding accident. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Catch a freighter back to the Groundbreaker? Sublight won't pick me up. So I guess that means I'm going to go talk to Mr. Ludovico, hat in hand, and beg him to employ me. Sorry, I take that back. I won't have my hat in my hand. I turned that in with the rest of my personals. It was a stupid hat anyway. Mots. I was kind of hoping this would lead to another key card. Because I need to find a way into A2. What? Actually, I think about it, I don't think I fully checked out the other side. Huh. Someone trapped in A3. We'll see what we can do about that.
I'm not sure how much longer I'll make it.
Timeline discrepancy detected.
Hello.
Nearby.
Oh, it's something up here.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
I know, the place that's in trouble is A3. That discrepancy is probably in room A2, which I can't do. Oh, hi, this looks good.
I'm trapped in room A3. Please, someone come help me. I'm feeling weak. Please just open the door. And I'm not sure how much longer I'll make it. The door's stuck. And I know I need to write a service request, but I can't get it under the door. Is anyone there?
That was a bit unsettling. That's part of the service request. To whom it may concern, please consider this note as a service request to fix A3's faulty door. I deeply apologize for not following proper protocols with this informal request, but my terminal is broken. Too broken to submit a service request form to fix it. I normally would never thumb my nose at our standard operating procedures, but I've been stuck in my room for several days now, and I believe I will likely starve to death quite soon. Well, I hope to hear from someone soon in regards to processing this urgent request. Thank you. I wonder if we could have gotten here a little faster, or if she'd be dead as soon as we got close to the entry point. Actually, I wonder what kept her from noticing the hole. Trace amounts of sprat saliva on this current stump. Former arm indicates this starving bellhop fed the starving creature with her flesh. It's a shame she was unwilling to eat herself first. That's rather screwed up.
I was a few minutes late for room service earlier today. Guest I was trying to serve shot at me with a revolver. I left the drink and ran.
Something like that happened to me once. Hammersmith exec called me up to her room, saying she needed help with something.
Yeah?
Turned out what she needed help with was testing a new Hammersmith heavy machine gun. She technically shot around me instead of at me, but it was still pretty surprising.
Wow! I haven't felt this great in ages. I wonder what...
Okay, that's the service entrance. I'm gonna go back to the desk, see if I can ask about it. You someone on?
Subway
No.
Underground appreciates your patronage.
Going to say I wanted to see about asking about a card to A2.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This is a bottle of unreleased Rizzo's product. Helen appears to have attempted to use it to spell something as she expired, but all she managed was a sticky B.
Well, that's the unreleased Rizzo's product.
Rizzo's Spectrum Brown has not yet been released for consumption. Spectrum Brown was scheduled to be unveiled at the Eridanos Atmosphere Complex in partnership with Halcyon Helen.
What if she was trying to spell the name of the killer?
This hypothesis is plausible, but requires additional information.
And Black Hole Birdie staying here?
Correct. Bertie Blackhole Holcomb is a registered guest at the Grand Colonial Hotel.
Anyone else I should know about?
Accessing guest database B. The Grand Colonial Hotel is proud to serve the following VIPs. Bertie, Black Hole. Burbage 3001.
We talked to Burbage. There wasn't much to be said there. Birdie we haven't found yet. I'll make a note of this for
This
later.
evidence has been recorded for later reference. Now generating pre-approved compliment. Splendid work, Inspector.
Thanks. I think I've made myself a bit confused. Where is that desk? Actually, can I talk to you?
Finally checked in, I see. I hope you're fond of the penthouse. It's pretty much the best seat in the whole hotel. You shouldn't want for any amenity you might find elsewhere. Should act as a better headquarters for the investigation than any space dust covered ship. That and you ain't got room service on a ship. You ever need anything, come find me. Even if you don't, you can still swing by. I'm always happy to chat.
Why do I ask you a few questions about the crime scene?
Please do.
You want to give me more details on how you came across the body?
Sure, I'd taken to checking the barroom every few hours prior to the unveiling. Just to make sure no sprats had snuck into the place. You understand. Found her right before I was set to head back to my room in the lower levels for my mandated 5-hour sleep period. Tell ya, thank the law for caffeinoid. Been too upset to get a wink of sleep since. And hey, now I can finally see smells.
Whoa. Any idea why Helen would have been in the ballroom after hours?
Beats all hell out of me. Maybe she was, practicing for the unveiling?
Back to my other questions.
Sure. What's on your mind?
Did you see Helen on the day of her death?
Of course I did. I just told you I found the body. Oh, wait. You mean when she was still breathing? No, of course I didn't. Plus, it's untoward for an employee to speculate about the actions of a hotel guest. Not that I saw any hotel guests interacting with her.
You can tell me. Haven't you heard of Inspector-Inspectee confidentiality?
That's the one where if the inspector breaches confidentiality, the inspectee feeds them to a horde of hungry sprats, right? I can talk then. Day of her death, I saw Helen leave the hotel premises with the profit of profitability, and didn't see her come back. A little on the suspicious side, I think. Seemed especially strange, seeing how, as far as I was aware, the two didn't get on.
We'll hear what he has to say, but we already know what happened there. She overdid it on the herbs. It knocked her out. She thought she killed... Prophet thought she killed Helen, dragged her away, left her there, and then Helen just woke up. What's the deal with the profit of profitability? She a guest?
Yep. Gives seminars on increasing profit margins and the like. Can't say much else, seeing how I ain't in the gossip market.
Why didn't Helen and the Prophet get along?
As far as I can recall, Helen dismissed the lady's seminars in some kind of interview. Said her co-star used them, but she didn't. The top rungers are always ready to read between the lines of famous folks and seem to think the Prophet was on her way out. Woman lost a ton of bits and is set to lose more.
It's kind of interesting because this is fairly non-linear. There's a few different hooks to point you in different directions. So we've had a few different things telling us, hey, you should talk to the Prophet. Back to my other questions.
I hope all that helped. I'd like to be as useful as I can in the investigation. I just didn't want to steer anyone the wrong way.
Got any idea on who might have wanted to do Helen in?
Everyone's got theories. I don't reckon mine hold much more weight than anyone else's.
Am I the only one who finds it slightly weird that this big fancy hotel is still using vending machines? Not sure there's much of interest here just yet. Oh, here we go. Reception.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector?
Nothing new here.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. An industrial-grade laxative has been added to the liquor in these bottles.
Interesting. And a person I can talk to.
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom.
I thought that was an AI this whole time. I recognize your voice. Pleased to finally meet you.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too. Now that our introductions are out of the way, do let me know if I can help you with anything.
You said you operate the elevator, right? Can guests not press the buttons themselves?
Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy. Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things. That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often.
Every so often. So I'd assume the bellhops all know each other. Gossip about Norville.
Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station.
He did note he was obsessively checking the ballroom. You know anything about Bellhop Owens? The chief was talking about him.
Owens? I hardly spot him. Generally, he's at Mr. Woolrich's beck and call, fetching this or that, helping with his room, and providing as his acting partner far more often than not. Ooh, that was strange. I've never felt quite as pleased as I just was to be tasked with working this elevator for 16 hours every day.
Right. Do you know anything about Halcyon Helen's murder?
Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off.
You know, again, I noted this earlier on, but the intro to this DLC had Helen mentioning something about brain-eating aliens, and as we've been constantly encountering since we've shown up here, there's brain parasites here. And right now, they're dangerously close to the hotel. Have marauders been a problem at the Grand Colonial before?
Well, not necessarily, but they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the marauders like the vermin they are. Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
Also, we've never seen marauders. Unless you count the brain parasites as marauders, but no. Goodbye. Can I just read this? That's just a check-in terminal. Nothing to see there. Unfortunate. You know what? What do we have right now? Where would I go for the kitchen security footage? That'd be a thing to look at. Let me see. Yeah, we can't get into A2. I might have to look into... If we're getting near the end of the DLC and I haven't done it yet, I will probably hit up Google and look up how the hell get in a room A2. But for now, we go do other stuff. Okay, let's go to the spaceport.
Customer.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Sluglight Underground don't like that much.
If you had anything to do with Sublight, you'd have started shooting about 12 words ago.
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm, draw!
Stare at the thug, hand hovering over your weapon.
What? Why ain't you doing nothing? You scared of us? Huh? Huh?
Thinking about cleaning costs. Any idea what the least messy way to kill you would be?
I'm sorry. We're sorry. Please don't hurt us. We're not bad people. We're just confused.
Oh, hey! An intimidate check at max skill level. Cool. Wasn't a waste to go that high. Start making sense or I'll show you what your lungs look like.
Okay. Anything you want. Just leave my insides where they are. Someone paid us to say we were Slug and intimidate you. I don't know who, I swear it. They only ever sent notes. That's everything I know. Honest. We were only gonna rough you up a little. You gotta believe me. And we're real sorry.
Get out of here.
I don't need to tell us twice. Come on, all. Let's get the hell out of here.
And that cancels the combat. Spiffy. Nice of us to talk to this.
Greetings, non-criminally associated individual. The Rizzo's constabulary is currently not closed due to a Sprat infestation. Bureaucratic processes are currently suspended. At present, criminal reports do not require paperwork. Please lament only in marked lamentation zones. Please speak clearly into this unit's recording instruments.
Your designation is Deputy Wine Taster? What are you doing in this constabulary?
Error. Unit designation no longer Wine Taster. Unit designation now Deputy.
You used to be a wine tasting mechanical? What's your favorite wine?
Unit does not have a favorite wine. Unit is incapable of taste.
Do your wine testing implements double as weapons or something?
While potential lethality of unit instrumentation bears towards 95%, violent utilization of equipment would void unit warranty. All Rizzo's constabularies must include at least one deputy constable among the pool of available Rizzo's employee candidates. This unit was considered the most competent.
You know, belatedly, it occurred to me once it said it's now known as deputy. I find it sad its name here didn't just change to deputy. All right then.
How may this unit be of service to you?
I need to acquire Grand Colonial Kitchen security footage from your archive.
All requests for security footage require a nominal compulsory bribe. Is that acceptable?
Hold still, I need to examine your bit processing unit real quick.
Error. Bit processing unit has been removed, temporarily surpassing bit fee request. Funds will be requested from Rizzo's leadership with interest at a later date. Delivering footage. Thank you for your patronage. If you would like a wine recommendation to pair with that footage, please submit the requisite request forms. Is there any other assistance this unit may provide?
Did you say something about a spread infestation?
Checking logs. Error. Informational limitations found. 2. Reciting limitation 1. Do not tell users about constabulary sprat infestation. We do not need to pay the health inspector's bribe. A third time limitation 2. Do not read informational limitations aloud, especially not to any of those void-damned snot-nosed guests, or I'll have you sold for parts.
I dare say you're destined for the scrap heap, good sir. Goodbye. Interesting. There used to be a couple pointers here. I guess there was supposed to be a few ways to get the footage, and I just happened to luck out with getting that to work. Can't hack this. No letting prisoners out for walks, even if they ask nicely.
Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit. Please explicate your defense into this unit's recording equipment.
My permit wasn't expired, Scrap Heap. You probably just scanned it wrong.
Error. Unit's permit reading equipment was updated only last week. Please tell a different lie.
Tell a different... You're a mechanical. You ain't got the foggiest idea whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Correct. Criminal. However, Constable Keene has decreed that this unit will remain here, questioning you every minute until you submit a confession. Error. Information on recent exchange lost. Restarting conversation. Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit.
You know what? My permit was fake after all. Let me out of here.
That's a dead body. We keep finding people dead here.
Timeline discrepancy. An aberration in the expected timeline for this organic being has occurred. Behold, the body of Maria Keene, formerly the constable of the Eridanos Atmospheric Complex. No signs of life detected. Maria Keene is survived by no known relatives.
What killed her?
Multiple puncture wounds detected along the frontal bone and between the clavicle. Furthermore, the location and circumference of exit wounds suggest a firearm with unconventional ammunition.
I noticed some casings on the ground. Ammunition?
These casings are too minuscule for conventional small caliber firearms. Each casing resembles a lancing needle used for medical and surgical purposes.
Sounds like the Needler to me.
Yes, Inspector. These wounds and ammunition are consistent with the description of Halcyon Helen's signature weapon, the Needler. This unit's records show that the Needler was likely taken from Helen's belongings in the penthouse.
Needler was probably used to inject something. Amplifier, scanner, blood.
High concentration of potassium chloride detected. Trace amounts of neurotoxin detected.
I have enough medical for this. Potassium chloride, that would have stopped their heart.
These substances show the highest concentration near the entry and exit wounds. Cardiac arrest, rather than physical trauma, is the most likely cause of death.
Amplifier, make a note, find whoever did this, and make them pay.
Your memo has been noted. This unit has been programmed to offer encouragement during moments of emotional strain. Banter protocol activated. We'll find the sprat bastards responsible, Inspector.
Might as well take the ammo. Singularity Steel sawed-off shotgun. Huh? This aggressively sawed-off shotgun is the signature weapon of Singularity Steel, renowned space pirate, gun hand, and gardener. This weapon, just as Board disproved as its wielder Serial, is thankfully just a prop. Otherwise, attempting to fire it would have a 50-50 chance of reaming an entire room with buckshot or exploding in the user's hand. And there's another building we could poke our head in right now. Oh, wait, looks like two.
Unclean counters, unswept floor, unhygienic vendor. This is unacceptable.
Hello. Welcome to Eridano's Dry Goods and Sundry, the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. I'm marketeer Joseph Dempsey, here to make your shopping experience as pleasant and normal as possible.
Standard and unremarkable, he said? Maybe you should invest in an advertising seminar.
Hey, folks take a lot of comfort in knowing their neighborhood general store is unchanging, eternal, like the land beneath their feet or the air in their lungs. Whoops, forgot I ain't supposed to poeticize on work time. The drab nature of our store profits is what I meant. Now, can I sell you anything?
Actually, I can get rid of the junk. While I'm at it. No, wait, we want to sell. We're keeping the Vortex Mace. Actually... yeah, we'll sell this stuff for... That's 51 armor for what's a hotel uniform. Huh. I'll keep these. Next time I go back to the ship, I'd probably want to... In fact, she could probably have my old helmet, no problem. Yeah, it's a bit of an upgrade. You can have that. Next time I go to... No, I can probably do it at a penthouse too. Just hand out the armor, give everyone some needed
This unit
upgrades.
has located the origin of all filth in this area, targeting upper levels of the Harbor Master's building for extreme sanitation.
Appointment?
Hello, I need to speak to Cedric.
Yeah, that's why you're here. Appointment?
Can I make an appointment for right now?
Not entirely out of the question. Convince me.
The inspector's here to see Cedric. There will be no other outcome.
Inspector, you said? Well, maybe he'll appreciate your blunt charms. Maybe not. I'll see what he has to say. Mr. Kincannon, got an inspector here demanding to see you. Want me to call the guards?
No, thank you, Eileen. I've been expecting him. Send him up, please.
Might as well put it to that for now, since that seems to be what I ended up in.
Ah, Inspector. Eileen is my right-hand woman and the finest assistant to ever grace this office. She is also tremendously skilled in causing physical harm. I recommend you do not insult her with any further attempts at intimidation. Now then, here for my alibi, I assume.
Later, first I want an explanation for that nonsense outside.
Another murder? Drunk Raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those, or I'll just keep guessing.
I had a run-in with some, air quotes here, slug agents.
Sounds as though you've already sorted it out yourself.
How do the thugs get their hands on slug gear?
Slug uniforms do seem to go missing from the hotel laundry with impressive regularity. Easy enough for someone to nick a few. Now ask yourself this. Why would anyone give thugs slug gear and send them after you?
Clearly, whoever's behind this wants to pit me against Slug.
Right again, Inspector. But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my reputation like that. Can you?
Presumably Ludovico, more than anyone, given your work relationship.
You said it, not me. So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you, nor is it likely they assigned themselves that task. Still, I am sorry for the trouble, Inspector. With that settled, I assume you'll want to know where I was the night of Helen's murder.
Let's hear it.
Let's see. That night, I was... torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine?
I regret that where this will go, but and where would I find Elliot Nasser to verify that?
An excellent question. I had his body dropped off the edge of the land complex. I'm not sure what happened to it from there, scientifically speaking. Maybe it dissolved? Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter. You'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of what I told you. People lie, and I am, incriminatingly, people.
I have to admit, I was too busy committing crimes to commit that crime is one hell of an alibi. So your alibi is that you were busy murdering someone else.
Which, as I said, you should not trust. If it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but my motive. Why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? She was making me a fortune.
So Helen's death is a net loss for Slug.
I'm considering a line of commemorative merchandise. Still, that's nothing compared to what Helen would have made us in the long run. I'd offer to assist you in your work, but I have a mystery of my own to solve, I'm afraid.
I take it the guy you tortured wasn't the source of your missing cargo, then.
Oh, Elliot stole from me, all right. Alas, you're right in that his was a singular, isolated incident. and as such, does not resolve a concerning broader trend. Items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. The thefts began a week before Helen's unfortunate death, and there have been more instances since. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter.
What's going missing specifically?
Nothing unsavory, and nothing Ludovico shouldn't know about, if that's your concern. I'm quite serious when I say Slug is a legitimate business. As to the specifics, I'm not sure. The warehouse foreman should be able to tell you. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter.
You just said that. What's the connection to Helen's murder?
I'm not sure. I'm only confident there is one. That the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is an extraordinary coincidence. I'm not a man who believes in happenstance, Inspector. I do not trust it.
I guess I can't guarantee the theft isn't related to the murder.
I certainly wouldn't take that bet. Regardless, this will be fun. You out in the field, chasing down leads, me scheming in my office, preparing to unspeakably mangle the perpetrator.
I feel like I shouldn't say no to a violent crime lord.
Really, Inspector, no need to flatter me. I assure you, you're already very much in my good graces. You'll want to speak with Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman. I've cleared her as a suspect myself, but should she refuse to cooperate, shoot her. No, I'm joking. If she won't cooperate, tell me and I will shoot her. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't hold back on my account.
I'm just gonna get on that. Oh, hey, there's a thing.
Timeline discrepancy detected. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard copy. The missing pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside.
Oh, short-range transmission capabilities. The receiver must be somewhere nearby.
Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location.
Moo.
Poor woolly cow impression transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a smaller, approximate range.
How long has this been here?
Analysis inconclusive. However, there is a minor accumulation of dust particles present on the book's uppermost surface.
Examine the surrounding area.
The area within a 0.5 meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles.
Not very dusty then. Must have been placed fairly recently.
That is highly likely, Inspector.
Okay.
What's that you found? No, wait, don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved the case.
That's a lot of containers. Is this just a distribution center, or do you think they're planning something?
Yes.
Timeline discrepancy detected. Transmission endpoint discovered. The receiver in this book matches the transmitter to the listening device found in Cedric's office. It's somewhat grime-covered.
Any clues as to who put it here?
Due to the high level of foot traffic in this area, this unit is unable to determine who placed the device.
You know, how long has this been on the ground?
Based on the accumulated mix of sludge and detritus, the receiver has been present since approximately a week before Helen's death.
We'll take it. by extension, I guess that means the bug's only been around a week or so.
If your registered SAM unit does not wake after entering rest mode in a substandard lodging rental facility, consult Manual 72-HP3.
Oh, right. Because I'm an inspector, they're just gonna...
Here they come.
Huh.
Sam cleans it up.
Weird that this is happening. You think the shroud would have kicked in. Yeah, they're gonna be a bit pissed at me when this is over. Wait, you mean I didn't need to go in there? Oh, God, now I feel like an idiot. Oh, well. Odds are I'd be getting into a fight with him eventually, so whatever.
Hi there. Sorry, this area is off limits to port vision. Oh, wait half a second. You're the inspector. Sorry about that. I'll buzz you right in. Feel free to have a look around, sir.
Up we go.
You're the inspector, aren't you? Boss Kincannon said you'd be by about the cargo that's been going missing. Gosh, this is so neat. A real-life inspector. What's that like? Have you solved any mysteries yet? Ever had to shoot a suspect?
Why don't we focus on stopping these cargo's paths?
Right, of
Okay.
course. Just tell me how I can help.
What's the culprit been stealing?
That's the weird part. There's no pattern, far as I can tell. The thefts don't make sense. I ask you, who would steal a handful of Spacer's Choice Sabers, so dull they can barely cut mud, but leave the spectrum black? Ugh. Who'd be desperate enough to want to steal a Spacer's Choice Saber, full stop?
Sounds like the perp's not fencing the stolen goods.
Yeah, probably not. No one's dumb enough to think Spacer's Choice Sabers are worth half a damn. Then there's the most recent theft. 5 boxes of pens and a couple of sodas. I can't decide which one's sadder.
It's both. Both are sadder.
I wish they hadn't stolen the blue pens. We can never keep enough of those in stock.
Who has access to the cargo?
Everyone here at Freight Storage and Processing, for a start. Thing is, the cargo is going missing before the shipments even get to the warehouse. Best I can figure, it's probably getting lost in the shipping yard. As for who has access there, Benton Chan, he's the shipping yard manager. He told me it's mainly just the loading automechs that handle cargo.
Maybe there's a problem with the automechs?
Could be. Those things'll break if you so much as look at them funny. That's Benton's area, but don't bother asking him for help. Last time I asked him to check the automechs, the hull head told me he couldn't help because he was dead.
Wait, what? Is he dead?
Brain dead, maybe. But no. My point is that if you think the automechs are a lead, you'll have to check on them yourself. Hopefully, you're mechanically inclined.
I fortunately have a high engineering skill now. Any idea what somebody would want to bug Cedric's office?
Maybe they're keen on cashing out and want to go as painfully as possible. I don't know. Boss Kincannon's office is where he holds most of his meetings with important folks like Ms. Helen. Just about all negotiations happen in his office too. Vendor pricing, major purchase orders, rentals for construction projects, you name it.
That's enough for now.
Oh, before I forget, I figured you might want to access my terminal, so I had a spare keycard made. It's all yours.
Anything on there I should know about?
Oh no. I forgot to delete all of those incriminating messages I sent about which cargo to steal. Nah. I do have a list of cargo that's gone missing, though, if that helps any.
Okay. Let's see, incoming messages. It happened again. Pens? Soda? I never understand where you get the energy to care about this shit, Tinsley. I don't know what to tell you. Pretty much the only ones that handle any cargo are the automechanicals. You can come look at them if you want, but even I have better things to do than help you exact justice on Boyd damn pen theft. Which, oh, I should have scrolled down first. Benton, we're missing cargo again, just random shit. This time we lost 5 boxes of blue pens and a couple purple berry sodas. I can't see a pattern. We got all those Deadeye Mark IIs on the other day, and not one of them went missing. So it's not like the skimmer's going for the most expensive cargo. As far as I could tell, shit's getting skimmed from the cargo crates before they make it to inside freight storage and processing. Could someone be breaking into the shipping yard at night, you think? Oops. Seriously? Ella, tell whoever snuck over to the shipping yard and messed with the loading automechs to go to hell, will you? Those things break down enough as it is, and I'll be damned if I'm going to haul cargo around myself. Wait, I think this was... Yeah. Ella, tell whoever... Yeah. This was telling cargo, and she replied, okay, but you have to admit it's a little funny to see an automech dance. Not my fault they're so damn easy to hack. Seriously, a primal could do it. Malfunctioning automechs. Yeah, okay, that's some... In that case, there must be a problem with the automechs. I'll swing by when I can and see what's malfunctioning. Besides you. Here's a list of what's gone missing so far, or at least everything I've noticed, so... See what I mean about there not being a pattern? It's the pens, the soda, 16 pallets of cacao milk, 300 small portrait images, Woolrich, and additional shipping instructions. Handle with care. Law, would I like to fold these in half. 3 Mark 7 cranial protectors, 7 sets protective clothing with safety harness, Aramid ballistics, 2 cases lemon slap, 10 Spacer's Choice sabers, 25 cases of blasting agent, 3 boxes of dark matter bars, 4 cases of nanner spank. I ask you, Benton, who would steal nanner spank, let alone pictures of Spencer Woolrich? If the thief wasn't skimming from Cedric and of all people, I figured they were doing it for kicks and giggles. What's down here? One of the mechanicals. Again, I have high engineering, so that should help here.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Hello.
Inspector, this loading automechanicals programming does not match factory default settings. The standard defensive protocol has been modified to include an additional trigger.
Define standard defensive protocol.
For Type K-19 cargo transport automechanicals, defensive protocol is triggered by attempted interference with cargo, or its transportation, or attempted destruction of the unit. Once triggered, defensive protocol targets the perpetrator and applies lethal force until the target has been deceased for a minimum of 3 minutes.
identified a new trigger.
There is a directive in place to initiate defensive protocol should an unsanctioned data log installed in this automechanical be removed.
Scan for signs of unusual behavior.
Slug automechanical maintenance records indicate this particular unit is frequently reported as out of position or missing for periods of time.
Let's have a look inside the automech, which...
Loading automechanical unit K-14 is fully operational at 99% power. Please designate the cargo to be transported and its destination. How can this automechanical assist you?
Hi, I'm here to look at your data logs.
Certainly. Access panel is now unlocked.
We'll disable the failsafe.
Failsafe successfully disabled. Kill mode deactivated.
Hooray for engineering. View the most recently added data log.
Ejecting data log 17C.
Let's view it. Looks like this automech has instructions to skim random cargo every 1 to 4 days. There's also an instruction to steal a specific package, shipment number 6875. Curious, what was in shipment 6875?
Apologies. This unit does not have access to cargo inventory lists.
Right.
Unit entering standby mode. Have a nice day.
Inspector, to what do I owe the pleasure?
The constable is dead.
Constable Keene? Now that is a damn shame. Am I right to think this wasn't a workplace accident?
This was a murder, all right?
It seems murder is becoming an unsettling trend on Eridanos as of late. Thank you for informing me of Constable Keene's passing. When you find her killer, please be certain to make them suffer.
Did you know the constable well?
Would it surprise you to hear that, despite being on opposite sides of the law, we were friends? That her loss comes as a sudden blow. Maria was a decent soul, and law knows those are in short supply around here. A little square, perhaps, in her dedication to the rules, but good nonetheless. I'm also saddened to have lost an occasional drinking buddy. She was quite good at cards, you know.
Sorry, Constable Keene, she didn't deserve this.
No, she didn't. But let's discuss something else. Do you have other matters requiring my attention?
I've solved your cargo skimming issue.
Ooh, I love this part. The big reveal. So tell me, what happened?
You've got a serious security problem.
What makes you say that?
Somebody bypassed the loading mech security system and rewired them to skim random goods.
Damn, you're good. Hacking the automechs. So that was our skimmer's game. But why? Everything that was stolen has seemed random. I certainly see no pattern.
The culprit didn't... Yeah, the theft was random except for a single shipment.
So, our culprit had something specific they wished to acquire and used the random theft as a smokescreen. I must say, Inspector, you've done excellent work on this case. Then that just leaves how the culprit knew where their true target would be, or indeed, that Slug would soon possess it.
I found this.
Am I right to think what you found in my office earlier was the other half of this listening device?
Sure was, and whoever this device belongs to, that's our culprit.
Not quite, Inspector. That listening device belongs to me. I lent it to Halcyon Helen to assist her with role research.
And she used it to... Helen can't be behind the theft. She's dead.
Yes. I do realize that. Thank you. You'll recall the thefts began in the week leading up to her death. Plenty of time to hack an automechanical and program it to steal. She must have died before she could turn it off. Unbelievable. I helped her. Gave her whatever she needed. I thought we were doing each other a good turn.
Corporate sabotage, perhaps?
I can't begin to guess at her motive. If it was to spit in my face, she'd be pleased to know she succeeded. This is a betrayal, Inspector. I do not take betrayal lightly. Helen should consider herself very lucky indeed that she is already among the dead, and that some other bastard beat me to putting her in the ground.
Seems we found your motive, Cedric.
Yes, I suppose we have. There is, however, a slight chronological incongruency to it. I now have a motive to kill Halcyon Helen, but Halcyon Helen is already dead. If I'd known Helen was stealing from me, I may very well have killed her, or had her killed. Alas, I did not.
I suppose not.
Again, I appreciate your assistance with this matter, and with the larger mystery at hand. I wish you luck with your investigation, though I doubt you'll need it. You'll find Helen's murderer. I'm confident of that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must find a way to excise my anger that minimally damages my business empire. I expect it will involve shooting quite a lot of guns.
I'm actually very curious where all this is going, because this has been pretty well done so far. Wait, can I just, I gotta go back to the penthouse. Not letting me change. Thank you. Can't fast travel near hostiles, but there's no hostiles here. How about now? There we go. So first and foremost, oh right, you guys have perks. If I still had one of my better grenade launchers, I'd toss it to him, but oh well. Alright, I want to give everyone's armor a little boost. There we go.
Inspector, I've just received word that Constable Keene is dead. Please tell me it isn't true.
She was murdered in her office.
Halcyon Helen, Leora Blossom, Maria Keene. There's a murderer on the loose, Inspector. You must stop them. I don't have Maria to count on anymore, so I'm counting on you.
Was she important to you?
Maria devoted her entire life to our vision. She was absolutely committed to our company, to our project. I promised myself I'd reward her after we launched Spectrum Brown. I'd make sure she was comfortable for the rest of her life. She was also our voice of reason. She was sensible, and I appreciated her advice. I never got to tell her that.
Let's change the topic.
What can I do for you?
I looked into Cedric.
Closely, I trust. Tell me what you found.
I'm about to disappoint you. He's got an alibi.
Of course he's got an alibi. He runs Sublight Underground. He probably starts his day by preparing half a dozen alibis. With that in mind, do you think Cedric was responsible for Helen's death?
Actually, you know what? He runs Sublight. He could have ordered her death without bloodying his hands.
I'm pleased to hear that. Cedric hasn't won you over with his clever words. Unfortunately, even I don't have the authority to detain Cedric. His line of work is dangerous, though. There's always a chance for an accident.
Sorry to disappoint you, Ludovico. He's alive and well.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable Keene, but at least Cedric's alive. The universe is a just place.
I'll be back. We're not done. They're ready to let us name names, but we're not done yet. We certainly want to go to the meeting spot next. Ah, damn it.
Bring me down. What's wrong, friendo? Cat got your tongue?
Oh, they're over there. Like,
What? What the? I'm gonna string you up by your guts!
This reeks of a smile,
Caution!
damn you!
Infestation encroaching!
Come here! I'll just want to be your friend!
Stop the body.
again, the parasite problem seems to be growing worse. I'm starting to wonder if Helen's antics were due to the brain parasites. Not that she has one, but she was aware of them and maybe doing something about it.
Look here. I could use a new pair of glasses.
Can't imagine where you misplaced your old pair. sure he's not in the museum?
Even if he is, no one will think
Timeline discrepancy. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Discrepancy detected. Rizzo's company policy clearly states that all proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life.
Puncture wounds near his collarbone. Having trouble finding an exit wound.
Excellent observation, Inspector. Have you deduced a possible cause of death?
I'd rather not speculate. What does your analysis tell you?
Medical analysis complete. This mascot was likely killed by small arms fire at close range. The firearm is unique and does not exist in this unit's database.
That seems to be one of the parasites on his neck. Smallest caliber ammunition I've seen. These are small wounds. Probably the needle right now.
Unusually small entry wounds indicate exotic weaponry. Closest approximations are 1. Incident involving a game of darts. 2. The Needler.
Same weapon that killed Constable Keene.
Now running Flattery Protocol. Excellent deduction, Inspector. Your logical faculties make my programming seem Paleolithic by comparison. Famously deployed by Halcyon Helen in Terror on Monarch. This weapon was responsible for executing the Chief of the Savages, played by Spencer Woolridge.
I think he'd miss his outfit.
This unit is incapable of providing ethical advice. This unit is also incapable of answering rhetorical questions.
I'll take his thing as it's potential evidence, yeah. Oh no, I have the weird sense I could do something with this later. I'm also wondering if it's because I took so long or if he was always just set to be dead by the time I get here. Actually, that thing went off twice while I was in here.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Hello.
This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected.
High concentration of ethanol. Someone's brewing moonshine with antiseptics.
Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material. Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
So we want to go back to the spaceport now.
Alarming levels of slime and grime are being stored in these non-regulation containers. Recommended solution? Incinerate the entire lot.
Hi, Birdie.
What do you want?
You're Black Hole Birdie, right?
Not so loud. How'd you know it was me?
Do you have any idea how many Tossball posters your face is on?
That's what the disguise is for. I'm in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate disappointing fans. So I'm lying low. You know, incompleto.
Okay, I have pronunciation problems, but even I'm not that bad. Incognito.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda neato.
Oi.
Oh, what's it matter? Helen's gone. She's gone and nothing I do will bring her back. I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Track down the killer and bring them to justice. But I'm stumped. And not very clever. Being bright was always Helen's thing.
Maybe I can help. I was hired to solve her murder.
Oh, so you're the inspector. Hope you have more luck figuring things out than me. You probably want to ask me some questions, huh? I'm sure you're asking everybody questions, so you can find Helen's killer. So, how do I help?
What were you doing the night Helen died?
I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers.
What?
You know, soaked, muddled, preserved.
Blutered, half shot, void lush, on the Byzantine swizzle. Starry. 1 bit down, 3 bits up, spread across the spectrum. Top heavy. Should I go on?
I get it. He's been drinking. Thanks, Nyoka.
The team noticed I was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air.
Where'd you go?
We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow. There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, you know, stolen her.
You did. We found her. So the woolly cow on the VIP floor was your doing?
Oh, wow. That's real clever of you to figure out. Helen would have liked you, I'd wager. Say, is the cow okay?
She's probably fine.
That's good. I hope she doesn't have a hangover or nothing. My memory's a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time.
Can anyone from the pilot house back that up?
I reckon not. See, I went to the weather station. I was looking for where Helen stashed her data pad for safekeeping, right? She'd asked me to get it, mind. I wasn't stealing. I'm no thief.
And did you find it?
Sure did. Only there was a guard out there who found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was.
What'd you do?
Long story short, I got out of there. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3, and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone.
Well, I know you weren't sprinting for a Sunday zone. Where'd you go?
I didn't know where I was going, but my legs took me straight to my friend's... to my... fridge... Raider.
Birdie, come on, man. Who was it?
I don't want to tell you. I'll get in trouble.
Not having a witness puts you in bigger trouble.
Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the breathing exercises I use to calm down.
Thanks, I'll follow up with Auric.
That sounds like a good idea. So now you have the whole story. After I talked to Auric, I went back to the hotel. Woke up the next morning with Helen's data pad in my hand and the hangover to end all hangovers. Don't know if I'll ever drink again.
Let's see the data pad. I want to give advice, but let's see the data pad.
Oh, yeah, you'll probably want to... Yeah, of course. Of course. Helen sure did have the prettiest handwriting.
Sorry about Helen, Birdie.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Sorry. Here you go, Inspector. Hopefully they make more sense to you. I couldn't make heads or tails of them. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers. I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing.
Thanks. I'll take a look at them.
Okay. And listen, I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it could be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble.
I can't let a suspect be part of the investigation.
I get it. I'll head back to the Grand Colonial then. Unless you need me for anything else?
No, you're free to go. So it should just, like... Content of this datapad are incomprehensible to you. Seems to be written in code. Several pages of unrelated words, sentence fragments, and seemingly random numbers conceal its true meaning. What do you mean near hostiles? Here, we'll transfer over and they'll let us fast travel. Back to the penthouse to report that one.
Inspector?
Managed to track down Black Hole Birdie.
I'm pleased to hear that. Bertie Holcomb is a valuable asset to the Rizzo's Rangers property. When Helen was murdered, Bertie was nowhere to be found. The timing of his disappearance is unfortunate.
Birdie's something of a character, but he's harmless. Feel a little bad for him.
Try not to feel too bad for him. Bertie is a brilliant athlete. The universe has balanced his talent by making him a slackwit.
His teammates are a bad influence on him. There was an incident with a woolly cow.
Yes, I know about the woolly cow. Constable Keene had Bertie's teammates arrested for unauthorized inebriation of livestock. Bertie himself was nowhere to be found during the incident. Ironically, if Keene had arrested him, he'd have the perfect alibi. Be plain with me, Inspector. Do you believe Black Hole Birdie killed Helen?
I really don't. He doesn't come off as bright enough to pull off something like that. At least, I don't see him as secretly being a
I
mastermind.
happen to be something of a fan of the hack attack. I'd hate to see him processed for murder, but we need to be absolutely sure. I'd like you to continue your investigation. Notify me as soon as you're ready to make a formal accusation.
By the way, Birdie agreed to stay at the Grand Colonial.
I appreciate that. I'd rather keep Bertie within the public eye than let him languish in a bar at the docks. I'll make my report of your investigation into Bertie. Do you have anything else for me?
I'll be back. We still have one more person to look into. Meanwhile, it's 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna stop it here, which means I gotta find someone to raid. Let's see who's doing something interesting right now. Let's see. Oh, and Andron's at Freedom Force again. That's a good one. Let's get a raid going that way. So tomorrow I'm going to probably do more, I'll be streaming tomorrow. It'll probably be more of SteamWorld Heist, and Tuesday I'm hoping to get back to this. Meanwhile, have fun watching Freedom Force. I'll see you then.